So as July has become this huge month in the NBA for free agency and trades, one word that comes up time and time again is loyalty. You know all the clickbait headlines, the ones asking if players like Kevin Durant or LeBron James should have been more loyal to their old cities and fans instead of switching to new ones. Or you have those situations when a player is stunned and upset by a trade. Other guys around the league pour onto social media saying how cold or unfair the situation is, which in turn is often met by fans writing back that it's a business and, hey, you guys make a lot of money. Of course, it's actually not remotely that simple on either side. And the reason is that July is not the sum total of the NBA calendar. Not even close. Month after month after month in this league, you have players being asked to spend thousands of hours pouring their hearts and souls and bodies into a team. By definition, to be able to win, players have to form strong bonds and chemistry with the guys around them. They are asked to get deeply involved in their communities and criticized when they don't. And when they get hurt, we ask them to literally cut open their knees and shoulders so they can continue to play. And on the other side, you have coaches spending every one of their waking hours obsessing how to help each player be his best. You have front office types taking grueling scouting trips from Louisville to Latvia. There are the team security guys who fixate on the player's safety, who even help out their relatives when needed. There are the athletic trainers who work with players into the wee hours of the night, not just trying to fix their aches, but often acting as sounding boards for their deepest frustrations and hopes. And all of these folks spend all year all crammed together in locker rooms and team plays and bad hotel banquet rooms. And it is because there is so much emotion and personal investment involved at every level that still, a week after the trade that sent Kawhi Leonard and DeMar DeRozan to new cities, we are still talking about it. Last night, our Chris Haynes sat down with DeMar right here in this room and asked him about comments that Raptors GM Masai Ujiri made that after the same core Toronto group kept falling short of the NBA Finals, Masai felt he had to do something to make a change. DeMar, very honest and raw about that, and about having been kept in the dark about the trade right up until it happened.
I felt like I wasn't treated with what I sacrificed for 9 years, with the respect that I thought I deserved. At the end of the day, I gave everything I had to that team. Every single day and night, whatever was asked for me, to make us better. And it showed. It showed in the progress that we made as a team, as me as an individual. So when you put that out there saying, gave them chances and I had to do something, it's BS to me.
Now, also yesterday, our Spurs beat writer Michael C. Wright taped a podcast with Zach Lowe that revealed a bunch of interesting details from the Kawhi side of things. There was this on the much-discussed players-only meeting the Spurs held this past spring.
Put yourself in Kawhi's shoes, and you have your team coming at you like that. You're going to be a little bit, just a little taken aback by that, I believe. And, in that meeting, Kawhi basically stood his ground. He's like, I'll be back when I'm ready to come back. And, I had heard that Kawhi had said something about, I'll do anything for all you guys in this room, but not this organization. That's what I heard that he had said.
Wow.
Mike also noted this, though, from the Spurs side of things. Take a listen.
They didn't want to trade him. They did not want to move that guy. And this is the thing that a lot of people don't realize is that, Pop cares for Kawhi deeply. RC cares for Kawhi as a person deeply. And so, it was almost like, you're asking us to trade our son away, almost.
Look, the truth is, the NBA is a business. Just this past season, the league was estimated to have generated $7.4 billion in revenue. And the pressure on each team, each general manager, each player to put themselves in the best circumstances to win is mind-bogglingly intense. But also, it is more than just a business. It is the place where DeMar DeRozan used the very powerful word home to describe Toronto, where he called his former teammates his brothers. Those are two hugely conflicting forces building up over an entire NBA year. And it is why, when we get to July, things sometimes get very, very messy. And Jackie, I want to start with you. You heard some of DeMar's comments. You've been talking to people on the Raptors side. Do you think, as we sort through this mess, and it's always messy,
Yes, it is.
do you think that the Raptors treated DeMar fairly?
Well, the first thing you have to say is watching that interview with DeMar, he's an athlete that everybody appreciates and respects. I'm one of them. And you understand why he feels betrayed, because he took less money to stay, because he didn't even talk to other teams when all those things are true, and all those emotions are real and they're raw. And I think sometimes when you get to these situations, players tend to hear what they need to hear, and the other side needs to do what they need to do. And so when I look at this, if I'm Masai, I'm looking at the jury, and I'm looking at this and I'm saying, okay, for 5 years in a row, our team has come up short. Our numbers tell us, and our own Kevin Pelton had them, that our team is actually better with DeMar DeRozan off the court. I need to look at everything. And I think he told that to DeMar at some point. And I think the celebrated meeting that we keep talking about in Las Vegas, by the way, that meeting, it was a 2-minute encounter in a gymnasium. It was not sitting down at dinner and having a big moment and discussing this over several hours. It was DeMar saying, hey, are we good? And at that moment, I truly believe they were good. You know why? Because I think Toronto was about in 4th place in terms of who the Spurs wanted to do business with. When it got down to that point, you guys know this, things happen on a dime. They happen within minutes, seconds, and I don't know any GM that's going to call up their star player and say, you know what? Now we are thinking of trading you. I'll get back to you. That doesn't happen. It never happens, and nor should it. Because suppose it doesn't happen, then you lose a player forever. So I can understand both sides of this story very, very clearly. I understand DeRozan's disappointment, but I also understand completely why the Raptors did this. And they care about DeMar DeRozan just like the Boston Celtics cared about Isaiah Thomas and the Clippers cared about Blake Griffin. But sometimes you need to take a deep breath and make a very tough decision.